Okay, today we are going to go over the Unit 5 review for your test over systems. So let's start with number 1. Admission at a fair is $2 for kids and $4 for adults. On the first day of the fair, 400 people paid a total of $1,000 to attend the fair. Set up the system of linear equations that represents this. So we always start by defining our variables. So x can be our kids, since that showed up first, and y can be the adults. Okay, so we're going to have two equations. So equation 1, and then we'll have equation 2. Okay, remember, money goes with money. So all of our money is going to go in the same equation. So for the first equation, I know it's equal, it's a total, so it's equal to $1,000. Remember, total means we are going to add. So I'm going to take 2x plus 4y, and that's going to equal $1,000. Then for equation 2, the total people, so that's going to equal 400. So I'm going to take the total number of kids plus the total number of adults to equal 400. And it just wants me to set it up. Okay, number 2. Using the system below, what is the x value? So there's two ways we could do this. We're going to go ahead and use Desmos. So remember, for Desmos, we want the y by itself. So y is already by itself here, so I'm good to go with that one. So for equation 1, I'll just put in y equals 10. For the second one, I need to solve for y. So I'm going to move my x and change the sign. So here, it depends on what you see. You can, since it's a positive y, that can be what we put in Desmos. Or if you need to keep it consistent, divide everything by 1. Because we divide by the number in front of y. So we would have y equals the big fraction of 30 plus 2x all over 1. So now when we go to Desmos, we're going to put that in. So we have y equals 10. In the second one, we have y equals. Remember, to set up the big fraction, we press divide. Oops, I'm on the wrong one. Hold on. We press divide, and then we're going to type in the top of the fraction. So 30 plus 2x, and then I'm going to click in the bottom and put it over 1. I don't see anything, so I'm going to zoom out till I see where they cross. They cross at negative 10, 10. So they cross at negative 10, positive 10. I want just the x value, so I have x and y. So my x is negative 10, so that should be C. Okay? Here, both of these are already Desmos ready because y is by itself. So I'm just looking for the y value. So I'm going to go into Desmos. I'm going to type my equations. Y equals 3x minus 9. Y equals x plus 9. I'm going to click where they cross. So they cross at 918. I'm going to label them x and y. I only need the y value. So y equals 18. So our answer choice should be B. Okay, number 4. Which point is in the solution set of the system of inequalities shown in the graph? So remember, we have x and y. So I'm going to graph these points and see what shows up in the shaded region. So we have -4, -5. So that's a no. We have 1, -1. That's another no. We have 0, 3. That's a no. So it has to be -5, 2, which is good. So it is D.
Good morning, Johnson High School. Please stand for...
Okay, number 5. Line A is graphed below. Line B passes through -210 and 0, 4. If they are both graphed on the same coordinate plane, what is the solution for the system? Please select the best option below and complete the statement if needed. So remember, one solution means they're going to intersect, they're going to cross, and the point is going to be the solution. No solution means they are parallel. Infinite means you're just going to see one line. Okay, so -210 is up here. So we already know, since that point's not on this line, that it can't be infinite solutions. So then we have 0, 4. Okay, so to complete this line, I'm going to use the slope. So I'm going to go down 1, 2, 3 spaces and over 1. So 1, 2, 3 over 1. I'm going to go ahead and extend my line. So these lines obviously cross, so they're not parallel, so it has to be A. That solution is the point where they cross, so 2, -2 would be our point. Okay, what is the system of linear equations that represents the system below? And then what is the solution? So let's write the equations first. So I'm going to use this line first. So I always want to find the y-intercept. So my y-intercept is 1. So the b, we need the m and we need the b. So the b for the first one is 1. I'm going to pick another point so I can find the slope. So I'm going to go up 1, to the right 2. So my slope is 1 over 2, because remember, it's rise over run. So my equation, since we're writing it in slope-intercept, would be 1/2 x plus 1. For line number 2, I'm going to use a different color. So again, I need my m and I need my b. So the b is going to be -3. Again, I'm going to pick another point and find the slope. So I'm going to go up 1, to the right 2. So my slope is 1/2. So I would have 1/2 x minus 3. So since these slopes are the exact same, my lines are parallel because they have the same slope. So when it asks what is the solution, there is no solution. Okay, number 7. Which of the following graphs match the system of inequalities? Okay, so I'm going to look and I have my M and my B. So I know one of the lines has to cross the Y at -2. So I'm going to try to find lines that cross at -2. So far those two are good. This one does not have one that crosses, so B's out and D is out. Okay, now I need to look for a line that crosses at +3. So that one's still good, and that one's still good. Okay, so now remember, if you have less than or greater than, it's a solid line, it's a dashed line. If you have less than or equal, greater than or equal, it's solid. So both of our inequalities have the equal to lines, so they should both be solid, which these are. So now, if it's y is greater or y is greater than or equal, we're going to shade above. If y is less than or y is less than or equal, we're going to shade below. Okay, so for the line that's at -2, this is going to be shaded above. So I need to find the one at -2. It's not shaded above, so A is out, C is good. Okay, solve the following system by graphing. So using the same things we just talked about. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and look at +4. So that one's good. That one's good. And that one's okay so far, so D is out. Then I need -4. Okay, those three are still good, so let's look at the inequality. Here, at the +4, it should be solid. Okay, so this one is solid, this one is solid, this one is dashed, so B is gone. At the -4, it should be dashed. So dashed and dashed. Okay, for the solid one, since it's less than, we're shading below that line. So the 4, I need to shade below the line. So this one is out, and C is our answer. Okay, what is the solution for the system that is graphed? Remember, the solution is where your lines cross. So they cross there. That's our solution. And that point is -1, +2. Okay. All right. Back to some word problems. A bag contains 10 coins consisting of quarters and dimes. So I'm going to go ahead and put the values. So remember, a quarter is 0.25, a dime is 0.10. The total value of the coins is $1.30. Which system of equations can be used to determine the number of quarters Q and the number of dimes D in the bag? So remember, all our money goes in one equation. So one of my equations, my total is $1.30. So I'm going to have 0.25Q plus 0.10D equal to $1.30. So I'm going to look and eliminate anything that doesn't have that one. So we're good there. This one is not good. We're good here. This one doesn't have our decimals, so that one is no good. So we're down to A and C. It says I have 10 coins, so that's another total. So I'm going to take the number of quarters plus the number of dimes. I don't need their value. I just need the number, the whole number. So quarters plus dimes equals 10. So this one's not good anymore. So our answer is C. Okay, number 11. Using the correct system above, so that would be answer choice C, how many quarters would the bag have? How many dimes would the bag have? So instead of using Q and D, I'm going to use X is going to be my quarters, Y is going to be my dimes. So we need to put this in Desmos. So I'm going to have 0.25X plus 0.10Y equals to 130. So remember, we move the X, change the sign. Divide by the number in front of Y. Okay, so in Desmos for the first one, I'm going to have Y equals 1.30 minus 0.25X, all divided by 0.10. For the second one, I have X plus Y equals 10. So again, move the X, change the sign. Okay, the Y is positive and by itself, so in Desmos, I can put Y equals 10 minus X. So we're going to go to Desmos, clear out what you have. So we have Y equals, and I want that big fraction, so divide, 1.3 minus 0.25X, all over 0.10. And then at the bottom, Y equals 10 minus X. So I have 2, 8 is the point where they intersect. So I have 2 quarters, 8 dimes. So my answer would be D. Okay, here, circle the correct response for the following systems. So we need to graph these systems. Okay, so for the first one, I'm going to move the X. And now Y is by itself because I have Y equals 2 minus 4X. For the second one, going to move the X, change the sign. This time I have to divide by a -1. So I have Y equals 3 minus X over -1. And I have Y equals 2 minus 4X. So I'm going to go to Desmos and graph those. So Y equals 2 minus 4X. Y equals divide 3 minus X over -1. So those do have an intersection, and it is 1, -2. So since they cross, my answer would be 1 solution because they cross. Okay, here, there's 2 ways you can do it. You can look at the graphs and the slope. So here, M is -2. Since they're both in Y equals, M is -2. Remember, parallel lines have the same slope. So since those numbers are exactly the same, we know the lines are parallel, which means they'll never cross. So that's no solution. But you can always go to Desmos if you forget that and type it in. So we have Y equals -2X minus 8. Y equals -2X minus 6. Those lines are parallel and they're never going to cross, so there is no solution. Okay, the last one. Neither one of these is Desmos ready, so we need to get it there. So we have 2X plus Y equals 3. So I'm going to move my X, change the sign. Since Y is positive, I have Y equals 3 minus 2X. So that's what I'm going to put in Desmos. Then I have 4x plus 2y equals 6. So I'm going to move the x, change the sign, divide by the number in front of y. So in Desmos, I'm going to have y equals 6 minus 4x over 2. So now we're going to graph both of those. So we have y equals 3 minus 2x, and then y equals our division, 6 minus 4x over 2. They're the exact same line because we only see one line, so that is infinite solutions.